Hello there, and welcome to Lesson 9 in Common Core Math 3, Part 3. So there are two parts to this lesson. Since this has a lot of dense content, I thought this might help some of you with just breaking down the steps. We are going to use the law of cosines to solve for side, angle, side. So if we were given two sides of a triangle and an included angle, we would use the law of cosines to help us solve. So here we have the law of cosines. We're just going to adjust these three different laws. These are the same laws, but we're solving for different legs here. Or different sides of the triangle using these three different laws. So we have the first one, and so we're going to modify it slightly in order to solve for one of the legs by taking the square root of both sides, and then that will give us just what A is equal, if that's what we are after. We'll take the square root both sides of this equation if we're trying to solve for B. And then that'll give us just a B. And the same thing goes if we're just trying to solve for side C. Okay, so first of all, it asks us to use these steps. First, use the law of cosines to find the opposite side of the given angle. All right, and so we're going to go through all three of these steps in a minute. What they're asking for then is for you to solve the triangle with A is equal to 120 degrees, B is equal to 7, C is equal to 8, and round your answers to the nearest tenth. So the first thing is, if we don't have a picture of this, we want to go ahead and draw it. So we want to show a nice obtuse angle here, a wide angle with, that's 120. Opposite that is side A, so we want to make sure we're labeling these that way. And then, so angle C, if this is angle C, then the side opposite of it is side C, so that we were told is 8. Here's angle, our last angle is B, the side opposite of it is C. So if the side doesn't touch the corners of this angle, and it doesn't, then we know that side is opposite. So after we draw this, what are we solving for? We are solving for all of our unknowns in this triangle. So we have two sides and an included angle. So again, what do? Use our law of cosines to help us solve for our first missing side. Our missing side there is A. So we're going to use our formula for A in our law of cosines and substitute into the formula. Okay, so there's your formula. We just use all of these numbers. B is 7, so we substitute 7 into the formula. C is 8. Okay, this side is 8, little c is 8. Then we have to take minus 2 times b times c cosine 120. You do that, multiply it all together, take the square root in your handy-dandy graphing calculator, and you will get 13 exactly. So now we have all three sides. What do we do next? It says use the law of sines to find the angle opposite the shorter of the two given sides. This angle is always acute. So now we go to the law of sines, another formula here. And so what do we have and what can we work with? So they just are trying to solve for angle B here. So we are going to use B over sine B is equal to what we have. And we have one angle here given, and that's angle A. So we're going to set that equal to A over sine 120. So when we cross multiply, we would get sine B is equal to 7 sine 120 over 13. What does that mean? Well, your calculator can tell you what that angle is if we take the inverse sine of all of this. That will get you the degree. So we have our third angle now. B is equal to 27.8. Okay, so you can use inverse. You'll find the inverse sine on your calculator, the graphing calculator, right above the sine. So if you're trying to find inverse sine, it's going to be second sine, and then you're going to put parentheses, everything there in that parentheses. You want to make sure that your mode in your calculator is on degree. If it's not on degree, then you're going to get a different answer. So it defaults to radian, so you want to make sure it's on degree. And mode is that second button to the right on the left, or it's right next to the yellow button on your TI-83. So if you do that free download, it'll be the exact same view. All right, so now that we have two angles, we can now find the third angle using our handy-dandy sum of those angles, subtract it from 180. Since we know all three angles in the triangle add up to 180, we can use that to solve for C. So 180 minus 27.8 minus 120 is going to give us our third angle, which is 32.2. So now we have everything here that we need to know about this triangle. All right, so that is just our side angle side steps. Next, we are going to look at side using law of cosines. Stay tuned.